The sun rose over Earth's cities, painting the skyscrapers with golden light. People went about their daily lives, unaware that far above in orbit, a secret council of powerful beings watched them closely. This council, known only to themselves and a handful of elites on Earth, had a plan, one that could control every aspect of human life. But their plan was flawed, and they had underestimated humanity's creativity and resilience. On the ground in a quiet city park, a young scientist named Lena Carter was already noticing strange anomalies in the environment. Machines she had designed to monitor energy waves were picking up unusual signals from space. Lena frowned as she adjusted her equipment, unaware that she was observing the very signals sent by the Council to begin their secret experiment. Meanwhile, in the Council's orbiting station, the leaders gathered around a large holographic table. Each figure was cloaked in shimmering robes, their faces hidden behind masks of silver and gold. The Council leader, a tall figure named Varric, spoke with calm authority. "Phase 1 is complete," Varric said. "Our signals have reached the planetary network. Soon humanity will unknowingly follow our design." But not all members were confident. Mira, a younger Council member, whispered, "They may not be as predictable as we think. Humans have imagination. They adapt quickly." Varric waved her concern away. "Imagination is irrelevant. By the time they understand, it will be too late. Our control will be absolute." Back on Earth, Lena's equipment began to behave strangely. Lights blinked and the screen flashed a pattern she could not understand. A sudden spark from her instruments startled her, and she stumbled back. What is this?" she muttered. Her curiosity overpowered her fear. Lena knew something extraordinary was happening, something that could change the world forever. At the same time, news outlets around the globe began reporting strange phenomena. Energy surges appeared in remote towns. Animals behaved unusually. Weather patterns shifted for a moment in ways that scientists could not explain. Humanity sensed that something was off, but no one could see the real cause, an invisible hand guiding these events from orbit. One night, Lena received a strange encrypted message on her personal device. It contained only a set of coordinates and the phrase, "The truth is above." Intrigued, she decided to investigate. She didn't know it yet, but this message was a warning from a hidden group of humans who had already discovered the Council's plans. Meanwhile, the Council celebrated their apparent success. "Soon humanity will follow our guidance blindly," said Varric, raising his hands as holographic maps of the Earth displayed lines connecting every city. "No rebellion, no resistance. Control is within our grasp." But Varric's confidence was about to be challenged. Lena, driven by curiosity and courage, managed to track the source of the signals. Following the coordinates from the message, she discovered a hidden facility in a remote mountain range. The building was old, abandoned to the public, but it hummed with life inside. Lights blinked along the walls, machines whispered in soft mechanical tones, and screens displayed the movements of satellites in orbit. Inside, Lena met Kai, a former Council technician turned whistleblower. Kai explained that the Council intended to manipulate human thoughts subtly, using energy signals to influence decisions, behaviors, and even dreams. "They think humans are predictable," Kai said. "They don't understand our creativity, our resilience, our spirit." Lena listened in awe. "But how can we stop them?" she asked. Kai smiled faintly. "We don't stop them with force. We stop them with ingenuity. We show humans what is happening before it's too late." That night, Lena returned home with a heavy mind. She looked out at the city lights, feeling both small and powerful. Small because she was just one human. Powerful because one human could make a difference. The Council thought they could control her world, but they had underestimated something fundamental: humanity's ability to resist oppression and create solutions in the face of impossible odds. As Lena fell asleep, her dreams were filled with strange visions, shimmering lights in orbit, mysterious signals, and an endless sea of possibilities. She realized that the story of humanity was about to enter a new chapter, one that the Council could not foresee. And high above in the Council's station, Varric's confidence began to show cracks. A minor system failure interrupted one of their energy transmissions. For a fleeting moment, he hesitated. He had not anticipated that humans might discover the signal so quickly. Mira noticed his pause and leaned closer. "Perhaps the humans are not so predictable," she said softly. Varric's eyes narrowed. "We will see." Phase 2 begins soon. We cannot fail. But somewhere on Earth, Lena and Kai prepared to challenge the Council's plan. They had no idea how many others would join them, but they knew this. Humanity was never meant to be controlled. And this was only the beginning. As the first part of this story closes, the world is on the brink of an unseen conflict. A battle not fought with weapons, but with intelligence, courage, and the unbreakable human spirit. The Council believed their control was inevitable. But Earth had other ideas. The sun rose again over Earth, but the world was beginning to feel different. In cities, forests, and deserts, subtle anomalies continued to appear. Strange flickers of light, minor shifts in energy, and small changes in weather patterns. Humans were unaware of the Council's manipulations, but a few, like Lena Carter, were starting to sense that something extraordinary was happening. Lena and Kai had spent the night in the hidden mountain facility, going through rows of old Council data. Machines hummed around them, projecting holographic maps of satellites, energy waves, and planetary networks. Lena's eyes widened as she realized the magnitude of the Council's plan. "They want to influence every decision we make," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the soft hum of machinery. "From what we eat to how we think, even our dreams," Kai nodded. They assumed humans would remain predictable. But they forgot one thing. We are not patterns or algorithms. We adapt, we create, we resist. The two worked through the night, analyzing the signals. Lena's fingers danced across the control panel, redirecting some of the Council's transmissions to harmless channels. Every small adjustment gave them more insight, and every insight revealed more flaws in the Council's plan. Meanwhile, the Council watched from orbit. Varric's confidence remained unshaken, but subtle warnings flickered across his console. "Phase 2 is ready," he said, his voice steady but tight. "Begin the integration." Mira, watching him closely, whispered, "We are missing something. Human behavior is changing faster than expected." "They are not passive," Varric waved her aside. "Minor disruptions. They will comply eventually. Continue with the plan." Back on Earth, Lena and Kai decided to reach out to others. They sent coded messages to trusted scientists, engineers, and analysts around the world. Slowly, a network of humans began forming. A silent resistance, united by curiosity, intelligence, and the desire to protect free will. One of their first allies was Dr. Anika Rao, a physicist studying energy fields. She had noticed strange anomalies in her experiments and had independently traced some signals to orbiting satellites. When Lena reached her through a secure channel, Dr. Rao's voice trembled with both excitement and relief. "You've noticed it too?" Anika asked. "I thought I was imagining things." "No," Lena replied. "We've seen the same signals. The Council is trying to control humanity, but we can stop them if we work together." As the network grew, so did their confidence. Using repurposed satellites, drones, and data systems, Lena and her team began subtly interfering with the Council's transmissions. Every small success was a victory. Every anomaly corrected in their favor reminded them that humans, when united and clever, could challenge even the most powerful forces in the galaxy. But the Council was not blind. Varric noticed the disruptions in their systems and narrowed his eyes. "They are interfering," he said. "Humans, they are unpredictable." Mira smiled faintly. "Perhaps this is what we underestimated. Their creativity." Varric's response was sharp. "We cannot allow this to continue. Phase 2 must succeed at all costs." Phase 2 involved a new set of signals designed to accelerate human compliance. These signals were stronger, more subtle, and more sophisticated than anything the Council had used before. But Lena and her team were ready. They studied the new patterns, devised countermeasures, and began a game of subtle sabotage. One evening, Lena sat alone in the control room, analyzing data streams. She noticed a pattern emerging, an unintended consequence of the Council's signals. Some humans were reacting in unpredictable ways, inventing new ideas, creating art, thinking differently. The Council's signals, designed to control, were actually sparking innovation in small pockets. Kai leaned over her shoulder. "They are learning from us without realizing it. Their own plan is giving humans the tools to resist." "Yes," Lena said, her eyes shining with determination. "We just need to guide it carefully. This is our chance." In orbit, Varric's frustration grew. Minor failures escalated as the Council's systems were interrupted. Satellites lost sync. Energy transmissions flickered. Human innovations sparked by the Council's own signals were disrupting their control, Mira observed silently. Perhaps humanity is not meant to be controlled, she murmured. Perhaps they are meant to lead. On Earth, Lena's network expanded to include engineers in Europe, AI specialists in Asia, and energy researchers in the Americas. They communicated through secure channels, sharing insights and data. Each human in the network contributed something unique: new perspectives, clever solutions, and unwavering courage. The Council's next move was to target the network directly. They sent automated probes to scan for resistance, hoping to identify the source, but humans were ready. Lena's team had anticipated the move. Using decoy signals and clever misdirections, they kept the Council guessing. Every probe sent in the wrong direction wasted valuable time and resources. Lena watched the progress unfold on the holographic screens. They think they are in control, she said. But control is not theirs to take. Not now, not ever. As days passed, the Council began to see cracks in their plan. Communications between members became tense. Varric grew increasingly anxious, realizing that human unpredictability was not a weakness. It was a force the Council had underestimated. Back on Earth, humanity was starting to notice subtle improvements. Communities were collaborating in new ways, inventions appeared unexpectedly, and people began to feel a sense of optimism. They didn't know it yet, but the Council's signals were being turned against them, sparking innovation and resilience. One night, Lena gathered her team. "We have proven something important," she said. "Humans are not patterns. We are creators. We are innovators. And together we can protect our freedom." Kai nodded. "The Council's plan is failing, just as we suspected. But we must remain vigilant. They will not stop trying." High above in orbit, Varric glared at the Earth below. "Humans, they are more dangerous than we predicted," he muttered. "They adapt too quickly. Phase 2 is compromised." Mira leaned closer. "Maybe it's time to reconsider. Perhaps we should learn from them instead of trying to control them." Varric shook his head. "Control is the plan. Adaptation is irrelevant. We will not fail." But on Earth, Lena and her team were already shaping a new reality, one where humanity could thrive, innovate, and resist control. The Council's plan, once thought perfect, was beginning to crumble, and as the second part of the story closes, the world stands on the edge of a turning point. Humanity has begun to awaken, to see the invisible threats, and to prove that intelligence, courage, and creativity can overcome even the most powerful adversaries. The Council may have thought control was inevitable, but humans were showing them that freedom, ingenuity, and determination were forces no machine or plan could fully contain. The world seemed to be shifting in ways most people could not see. To the average citizen, life went on as normal. Children laughed in playgrounds, people commuted to work, and cities pulsed with energy. But beneath this everyday rhythm, a quiet revolution was taking place. Lena Carter and her growing network of human allies were no longer just observing. They were taking control. In the hidden mountain facility, Lena and Kai worked tirelessly. Holographic screens displayed real-time energy readings, satellite paths, and Council signal frequencies. Each line, each wave, each flicker of data told them a story, one of opportunity. Lena's fingers flew over the control panels as she implemented small adjustments, rerouting signals and creating feedback loops that would confuse the Council. "We can't stop now," Lena said firmly, her eyes fixed on a shifting pattern of energy waves. "Every second we wait, the Council gets stronger. But every second we act, humans gain an advantage." Kai nodded, adjusting a holographic display. "We've already seen what happens when they miscalculate. Their signals meant to control are creating pockets of resistance. We just need to expand them." Meanwhile, across the globe, humans began to experience subtle awakenings. People noticed unusual clarity in their thinking, sudden flashes of insight and bursts of creativity. Artists painted vibrant works inspired by unexplained visions. Engineers devised ingenious solutions to old problems. Communities began collaborating in unexpected ways, strengthening bonds and sharing knowledge. Dr. Anika Rao, Lena's ally, marveled at the phenomenon. "It's as if the Council's attempts to control us are backfiring," she said. "Their signals were meant to limit thought, but instead they're sparking innovation." Lena smiled, though she remained serious. "Exactly. Now we have to guide it carefully. We can amplify the effect, make the changes deliberate, and show humans the power of their own minds. In orbit, the Council sensed the shift, though they did not fully understand it. Varric's calm composure was beginning to crack. Screens flickered with anomalies, satellites strayed from their courses, and energy readings went haywire. "They are interfering again," Varric said, his voice tighter than usual. "How are humans doing this?" "Their progress should be gradual, predictable," Mira observed quietly. "Perhaps they are evolving faster than we expected. They are learning from the very system we designed to control them." Varric shook his head, frustration flashing across his face. "Learning does not matter. Control is inevitable. Phase 3 begins now. If we fail, all is lost." Phase 3 was the Council's boldest plan yet. Direct influence on human decision-making at a mass scale. Advanced satellites would broadcast signals to every corner of the Earth simultaneously, guiding thoughts, behaviors, and choices. The Council believed that with this step, no human would act independently. But Lena and her team were ready. They had studied the Council's new signals and identified weaknesses. By creating countersignals, subtle interference patterns, and signal loops, they could disrupt the Council's influence while amplifying human creativity. Lena took a deep breath and activated the first countermeasure. The facility hummed with energy as satellites rerouted signals, sending a harmless echo of the Council's waves back into space. "This is it," she said. "The turning point. On Earth, small effects were immediate. People experienced moments of clarity in the middle of confusion. Scientists solved problems that had stumped them for years. Communities organized themselves to address challenges efficiently and collaboratively. Even children seemed to exhibit heightened creativity, devising games and inventions beyond imagination." Kai watched Lena's work on the holographic panels. "We're witnessing something incredible," he said. "The Council thought they could shape humanity, but we are showing that humans shape themselves." Varric, observing from orbit, noticed the disruptions. His screen showed satellites drifting off course, signals interfering with one another, and energy readings fluctuating wildly. "Impossible," he muttered. "This should not be happening." Mira leaned closer. "Perhaps this is what you underestimated. Humans are not programmable. They adapt. They create. They resist." Varric's eyes narrowed. "Resistance is irrelevant. Phase 3 must continue." But the Council's control was slipping. Humanity's ingenuity, combined with Lena's network, was turning their own technology against them. Entire cities experienced surges of innovation, collaboration, and problem-solving. In some areas, humans began building devices that could detect and neutralize Council signals. In others, networks of communication spread the knowledge of what was happening. Even ordinary people, unaware of the Council's existence, were affected. Farmers developed more efficient irrigation techniques. Engineers solved energy storage problems, and students invented new ways to learn and teach. Humanity was evolving, guided not by coercion but by the spark of its own creativity. One evening, Lena gathered her team. "We've done something extraordinary," she said. "We've shown humans that they can overcome manipulation. But the Council will not give up. They will try again, stronger. We have to be ready," Kai nodded. "And we will be. Every success we achieve inspires more humans. Every human who awakens is a step closer to true freedom." In orbit, Varric grew increasingly desperate. He realized that the Council's signals were being repurposed by humans. His confidence eroded as anomalies multiplied. Mira, observing him silently, finally spoke. "Perhaps it is time to reconsider," she said gently. "Perhaps we should guide rather than control." Varric shook his head, a shadow of doubt crossing his face. "Guidance is not the plan. Control is the plan, and I will not fail." Meanwhile, Lena and her team continued their work, expanding their network and improving their systems. They reached out to more scientists, engineers, and thinkers across the globe. Each new ally contributed ideas, knowledge, and ingenuity. Together, they strengthened the human response to the Council's manipulations. The Council's Phase 3 began to unravel. Signals intended to control were now neutralized or turned into tools for human innovation. Entire cities acted as beacons of creativity, spreading resistance like a wave. Humanity, united by intelligence and spirit, had begun to reclaim its freedom. One night, Lena looked out over the city lights from the mountain facility. The world seemed brighter, more alive. People were beginning to awaken. not to fear but to possibility. She felt a surge of hope, knowing that this was just the beginning. Kai stood beside her. "They thought they could control us," he said quietly. "But humans cannot be controlled. Not by machines, not by plans, not by fear." Lena nodded. "And as long as we keep fighting with intelligence and courage, they will never succeed. This is humanity's strength, our creativity, our adaptability, and our spirit." High above, Varek and the Council watched in growing frustration. Their plan, once so carefully constructed, was failing spectacularly. They had underestimated the most fundamental force in the universe, human ingenuity. And as Part 3 closes, the world stands on the edge of a revolution. Humanity has not only resisted control, they have begun to shape their own future. The Council's failures are becoming clear, and the story of human resilience, courage, and creativity continues to unfold. The stage is set for even greater challenges and victories. Phase 4 looms, and both humans and the Council must face the next chapter. But one truth is certain: humanity is never truly controllable, and its spirit shines brightest in the face of impossible odds. The world had changed. Across continents, humans worked together like never before, inspired by ideas and innovations sparked by the Council's own signals. Cities were alive with collaboration. Inventors and engineers shared knowledge freely. Communities solved long-standing problems. The energy of creativity flowed through humanity, unstoppable and uncontainable. In the hidden mountain facility, Lena Carter stood at the main console, watching a live feed of satellites and energy transmissions. The Council's attempts to regain control were failing spectacularly. The satellites that once sought to manipulate minds were now guiding humanity toward freedom and innovation. Kai leaned beside her. "They thought their technology could make humans predictable," he said. "But humans are never predictable. That is their greatest strength," Lena nodded. "And we've only just begun. Every step we take shows that control is impossible when people think, create, and act freely." Across the globe, human ingenuity was everywhere. Children invented clever devices to help with everyday problems. Scientists solved energy shortages. Farmers developed new irrigation methods that conserved water. Communities created networks to share ideas instantly. Every corner of the Earth was awakening. In orbit, the Council watched in disbelief. Varek's hands trembled slightly as he stared at the chaos he could not control. Satellites were being rerouted, signals neutralized or transformed, and human activity continued to spread faster than they could predict. "This should not be happening," Varek muttered. His voice, once full of authority, now carried doubt. Mira, standing beside him, watched silently. "You underestimated them," she said softly. "It is not strength or technology that controls humans. It is their spirit, their creativity, their will to be free." Varek clenched his fists. "We cannot fail. Phase 4 must succeed." But Phase 4, the Council's final attempt at absolute control, had already begun to unravel. Lena and her team anticipated it. Using the knowledge and resources of their global network, they created a system that not only neutralized the Council's signals, but amplified humanity's response. Every wave of interference became a wave of innovation. Every attempt at control became a chance for humans to adapt and improve. Lena activated the final sequence. Lights blinked across the control panels and the mountain facility hummed with energy. "This is it," she said. "The moment when humanity shows that it cannot be controlled." Kai nodded. "We are ready." Across Earth, the effects were immediate. Communities coordinated to repair systems the Council had tried to disrupt. Scientists shared breakthrough discoveries that solved energy, water, and communication problems. The human network was unstoppable, growing faster than the Council could respond. Even ordinary people unaware of the conflict above were part of the solution. Their creativity and intelligence, sparked by the Council's own technology, became the foundation of freedom. High above, Varek watched helplessly. Satellites veered off course. Energy signals twisted into harmless patterns, and human innovations appeared in every region. His confidence shattered. Mira placed a hand on his arm. "Control is not their path," she said. "Humanity chooses its own path." Varek shook his head, defeated but not broken. "Perhaps we were wrong. Perhaps it is not our role to control, but to learn." Lena's team continued to coordinate globally. Messages, inventions, and ideas flowed freely. People were inspired to think creatively, work together, and protect their independence. The Council's attempts to dominate Earth were completely undone. In one remarkable instance, a small town in South America used energy patterns from repurposed satellites to create a communication hub for surrounding villages. Farmers shared data about rainfall and soil health. Engineers shared new ways to generate clean energy. Children created innovative learning tools that spread across the region. The Council's signals, intended to suppress, had become tools for empowerment. Dr. Annika Rao, monitoring the network from her lab, marveled at the results. The Council thought technology could make humans passive, she said. Instead, it made them stronger, smarter, and more united than ever. Lena smiled. They never understood the core of humanity. We are thinkers, creators, and problem solvers, and when united, we are unstoppable. Even the media, oblivious to the full story, reported on rapid human achievements. Cities became more energy efficient. Global cooperation reached new levels, and solutions to old problems emerged faster than ever before. Humanity was thriving in ways previously thought impossible. In orbit, Mira turned to Varric. Perhaps this is the future, she said. Not control, but collaboration. Not manipulation, but guidance. Humanity is remarkable. They deserve freedom, not chains. Varric finally nodded. He had no choice but to accept the outcome. The Council's plan had failed spectacularly, and there was no way to regain dominance. Humanity's creativity, ingenuity, and resilience had triumphed. Back on Earth, Lena stood outside the mountain facility, gazing at the night sky. Stars glittered above and satellites drifted harmlessly in orbit. She felt a deep sense of accomplishment but also responsibility. Humanity had proven itself, but the future would always require vigilance, courage, and creativity. Kai joined her. We did it, he said softly. Yes, Lena replied. We did, but more importantly, humanity did it. We didn't just stop control. We proved what humans are capable of when free. The world below was alive with hope and innovation. Cities shone brighter, communities worked together, and humanity looked forward to a future filled with possibility. The Council's secret plan to control Earth had failed, not because humans were weak or passive, but because they were imaginative, courageous, and united. And as the story closes, one truth remained clear. Humanity cannot be controlled. Its spirit, creativity, and determination shine brightest when challenged. The Council had underestimated the very essence of life on Earth, and in doing so, they revealed something extraordinary, the unstoppable power of human ingenuity. The night was quiet, but it was a quiet filled with potential. Across the planet, people slept peacefully, dreaming of a future they could shape themselves, and high above, the Council watched silently, humbled by the strength of those they had sought to control. Humanity had triumphed. Spectacularly,